Beautiful Petco Park in downtown San Diego, the scene. It's game 2 of a 3-game series, and Lucas Duda of the New York Mets, their leading home run hitter and RBI man, is back in the lineup. Sat out last night. He has a bruised knee. And also returning to action, Yonder Alonso, the Padres' leading hitter at .333. He'll bolster that right-handed hitting lineup with his left-handed swing. It is game 2 of the 3-game series. The New York Mets, who won last night 7-0 against the San Diego Padres. And good evening, everyone, with Mark Grant, Dick Enberg. Pleased that you've joined us. It's a very important start for the veteran Ian Kennedy tonight.
He has toned the slab tonight for the 9th time this season, and you're only as good as your last start, correct? So he's really got some work to do, because the last time out, the mechanics were a little bit out of whack. The command, you see the strike zone. Fox Vision says that's in the hot zone for any type of hitter against the Pittsburgh Pirates, hence the home run. Ian Kennedy's got to keep the ball down, get ahead in the count, and then elevate out of the zone. By design, once again, Fox Vision against the left-hander. He wants it down and away. It's elevated, and they're taking it that way. So we're going to keep an eye on the mechanics tonight. We're going to keep an eye on the velocity of Ian Kennedy. We'll show you that during the course of the game.
And the young 22-year-old right-hander, Noah Syndergaard. They say you thought you liked what you saw last night from the Mets pitcher. He's even tougher.
DeGrom, Syndergaard, quite a 1-2 punch. Then you come in there with Matt Harvey. And don't forget, not just the arm of Syndergaard. How about the bat? Going to dead center field near the Manzana Grande in the Big Apple. He's got a big everything. Good arm, good bat.
3 for 3 in his last start with that home run. So we're set to go here at Petco Park. Yonder Alonso, he gathered all the media before the game tonight. He's back from the rehab assignment in the minor leagues and ready to help the Padres. More on him when we come back. Alonso delivers again.
Welcome back, and welcome back Yonder Alonso into the clubhouse and back in the lineup today after injuring his shoulder back on May 7th, was dealing with a bruised scapula. And the Padres glad to have him back in the lineup with 10 RBIs. He was batting .333 at the time that he got injured. I talked to him about what he worked on during his 6 rehab games in El Paso.
I was just trying to see pitches, trying to make sure, again, getting all my checks done, whether that's getting my work in, making sure during the game I was putting my swings together, having good at-bats, solid at-bats. And, all those things turned out well. I played good defense, had some plays where I dove and, had some plays where I had to throw the ball, had some picks, so on and so forth. So, again, it was good at-bats all around, and, my body feels good, my shoulder feels good, and that's the most important part.
So Yonder hoping he can continue that hot hitting and give Ian Kennedy a little run support today as Kennedy seeks that command. He struggled with it recently. Hope for a good outing today in Game 2 against the Mets. We got first pitch coming up from Petco Park.
By Kaiser Permanente, Thrive. By Petco, what we feed them matters. By Kona Brewing Company, one life, right? Don't blow it. Mahalo. And by Mercury Insurance. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com. See how much you could save. Crowd filing in on the beautiful Tuesday night in America's finest city. Let's look at the Mets lineup. For Terry Collins, brought to you by Hyundai, much like the lineup we saw last night with one big exception. Curtis Granderson and Tejada lead it off. Lucas Duda, top power man, their first baseman, out with a bruised knee. Last night did not play, but he's in there tonight. Daniel Murphy with a big night last evening. He had 4 hits and a line drive out for the 5th at bat. Michael Kadire hits 5th, then Wilmer Flores, a power hitting young shortstop. Juan Lagares, a Gold Glove in center field. Kevin Plawecki, the catcher, and Noah Syndergaard. You've already seen he can hit. All against Ian Kennedy.
Time now for the Padres Scouting Report, brought to you by our friends at Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Scouting Report looks something like this. Maintain proper mechanics. We're going to get into that as the game goes on. And stay on top of the ball. Sometimes Ian has Kennedy work around the baseball, push the baseball, and I think that's one of the reasons why the velocity has a tendency to go down a few ticks. We'll keep an eye on that as well.
And don't be wild in the strike zone.
Good call.
Which happened against Pittsburgh, giving up 3 home runs. Here's a look at the Padre defense, brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Upton, Venable, and Kemp in the outfield. Middlebrooks, there's Amarista at shortstop, Spanshenberg at second, and Yonder Alonso returns at first base. Certainly has improved his defensive abilities as he has progressed here as a major leaguer with the Padres. And Derek Norris behind the plate for Ian Kennedy. Kennedy's 9th start. The home run ball has hurt him. 39 innings. He's given up 12 home runs. Granderson checks in at 228. Kennedy has his sign, and we're underway on this Tuesday night. Outside ball 1. David Wright on the left. He was up in Los Angeles yesterday. Came back to the ball club today. He has that spinal stenosis. Could be very serious. They're hoping he can return week to week. Line drive, right field. Kemp comes in and makes the catch. Whoa, that ball sinking drastically, and Kemp able to snare it right off the grass top.
Good first step out there in right field and picking up Ian Kennedy. It's always nice to get that first out of the ball game after 2 pitches. Getting on top of that one a little bit. As you mentioned, Dick, that ball is sinking. You get to the point of no return as an outfield, you got to commit. A nice commitment and nice catch by Matt.
Third baseman Ruben Tejada. He's been hot of late. Last 4 games, 8 for 17. Was 3 for 5 last night. Had a double single his first 3 at bats. Well, the partnership of Tejada and Murphy hitting second and third racked up 7 hits in the game and a 7-0 Mets win. Comes out swinging. In his career against the Padres, hitting .329. He's raised his average up from 200 in April to a very solid 274. .91 on the fastball, misses wide. Against Pittsburgh, Kennedy started with that fastball 91-92, but as the game progressed, by the time he got to the 4th inning, he was down to 88. Didn't make it through the end of the 4th inning.
And it's just a little mechanical issue that can do that to any pitcher and throw off the velocity. If you lose that velocity, you better make darn sure you hit your spots.
Changeup is inside. Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, works tirelessly with his men, trying to correct the flaws that he has noticed in his delivery. High strike, 2-2. Seabay Buckner behind the plate. Siegel, Scott, and Iasonia on the bases.
Here's the delivery. We're going to keep an eye on that backside, that back leg. Sometimes it looks pretty good right there. Sometimes he has a tendency to break down a little bit too much. And when that happens, Dick, not too many guys can be a drop and drive. And it's kind of ironic. Both guys went to USC. Tom Seaver, right? Drop and drive.
Right.
Not too many guys can do that because you have a tendency to work around the baseball. Everything flattens out. Ian needs to stay a little bit taller on that back leg and not break down so much.
Yeah, Seaver would drag that right knee, delivering the ball. Line drive softly and into center field, away from Spanshenberg. Not hit hard, but Tejada continues his hot production against the Padres. Brings up first baseman Lucas Duda.
Even though this is a base hit, he gets his hands in. It's on the inner part of the plate, maybe even off the plate. He wanted it down, but if that ball is down in the zone, he offers that. It's probably a routine ground ball, enabling Amarista to possibly make a play. Tough first innings for Ian. 11 runs allowed in the first.
Duda with the top average at 298. And he's been on a home run tear. Last 9 games, 6 home runs for Duda. Off the head of the bat, the changeup. On Sunday, Duda hit in that right knee, and mighty sore, as you can imagine, so he did not play last night. Fortunately for the Mets, it's not serious, and here he is at work tonight.
I'll tell you, if I'm a pitcher, I'm trying to bury something down and in. Fastball's down and in. David Phelps got him good.
High fly ball hooking down the right field corner, and that'll make it into the crowd. Pretty good distance.
Still trying to find that pellet. That last pitch was in a little bit. Good job.
Mets start tonight even with the Washington Nationals atop the National League East. 29-23 for New York. And another line drive, hooking, foul. Boy, Duda making good contact on those last two swings.
Give you an idea where Lucas Duda this season, he has 53 hits. This is pretty telling. He likes the ball middle, down the middle, and away. See this 13? He likes to get extended. Down and in, that's where, you know, he got hit in the knee, but still. 2 down and in, and he can get him up the ladder in the middle. He's only got 1 hit in that part of the hot zone.
Breakout power season last year. He hit 30 home runs. High drive to left center field. Venables starts in, now has to move back to make the catch. The runner Tejada was all the way to second base. He scampers back to first, and there's 2 away. Daniel Murphy, 4 hits last night. One of those perfectly measured. He dropped it on the top of the right field wall, and it skipped into the jack deck. His 4th home run of the year, just out of the reach of Matt Kemp. Knocked in 3 runs with a 2-run homer and an RBI single. He was a triple shy of the cycle, and his only out was a screaming line drive to shortstop.
And believe me, last night Ian Kennedy was watching. That was a breaking ball out of the hand of Andrew Kasher. It sped up his bat. It was a strike. I'm going to keep an eye on breaking balls from Ian this at bat and see if he bounces them or keeps them out of the zone. Hopefully Murphy will chase them.
In the dirt, change up. Murphy's been quite a road warrior as you look at Michael Kadire batting 5th. On the road, he's the 5th most effective hitter in the National League, batting .350.
Maybe it's the hotel room service, huh?
Could be.
Hey, pretty good pitch. Didn't get the call. Boy, I'll tell you what. Was he throwing pellets last night?
Just hard to believe. You can strike out 12 men in less than 5 innings and yet give up all those runs and hits. I mean, either it was feast or famine.
And if somebody said they've seen something like that before, they're lying, because they'd have to be alive before 1900.
It's amazing. And he walks Murphy. That pushes Tejada into scoring position. And with 2 outs brings up Michael Kadire. Kadire at .260 and in a 7-game hitting streak.
Well, really struggled in April, Michael Kadire, but doing well in May and then early part of June to raise that average. See if he can get a grounder, go the short way here to get out of this inning.
Foul tip into the glove of Norris at 92. The other interesting aspect of last night's game, 9 full innings, only 1 walk in the entire game. That's rolled foul. And the Mets this year have really been difficult in that you got to hit your way on. You want to get to first base, you better be able to get a base hit. Their walk strikeout ratio is 4.06. They have 4 strikeouts plus for every walk. And last night was the 11th game this year 11 games where they not allowed a single walk.
Wow.
That's a quarter of the season. Well, now closer to 20% of the season. And speaking of quarters and thirds and all, this is the 1/3 mark of the Padres season.
Oh, yeah.
We're at the 54th game, 1/3 of the way through the year.
Next thing you know, the All-Star break, then trade deadline, then hopefully the Padres are
playoffs.
Yeah, there you go.
Mets feel they've got the team to do it. And there's Kadire up the middle, a base hit. Tejada around third. He'll score. Racing to third is Murphy. And the Mets strike in the first inning just as they did last night when they scored 2. Kadire's 23rd RBI. So not a good start for Ian Kennedy.
Well, with Michael Kadire up there, keep an eye on that pitch. It's a high fastball, right? Then he tries to counter with the changeup. He's got to make an adjustment. A lot of the pitches this inning have been up in the zone, and that one especially, pitch number 4. You can see Ian's reaction right after that. He's got to get that down.
So a single, a walk, and Kadire a 2-out RBI hit. And the Mets are on the board here in the first frame. Wilmer Flores, young shortstop, hitting at an even .250 with some sock. 8 home runs. 23-year-old from Venezuela. Mets at the corners. Breaking ball misses. Well, the Mets came to Southern California, to San Diego for this series. They had lost 7 in a row on the road. They've had a tough time winning on the road. They were 2-12 going into last night's game. That's a strike.
And that's an adjustment. The first pitch was a curveball. That's a fastball where he wants to be. And for Ian Kennedy, between the ears, he's got to think to himself, okay, that's all they get. Got to bear down, get back in that dugout, leave it at 1 run.
That's rolled foul. Well, his place in the starting rotation is jeopardized by his recent outings. And Odrisamer Despaigne, who has taken the spot from Brandon Morrow, pitching well the last 2 times. Morrow, by the way, worked a rehab start at San Antonio tonight. Went 54 pitches, 4 innings, 2 hits, no runs. So that's good news coming from the right-hander Morrow, coming back from injury. 1-2. Late swing foul.
92 on the fastball, good sign. And a David Wright fan, along with a Padre fan alongside him. Look at that. That's good to see. I give it to the Padre fan.
I'm just guessing Dad grew up in New York as a fan, and his son, born here in San Diego, he's going to be a Padre fan. Fly ball to center. And backpedaling for the catch is Venable. The Mets settle for 1 on a couple of hits. Here come the Padres and Will Venable. Standing talent than Jacob deGrom. 2 innocent ground ball singles. He was that close to throwing a no-hitter. Worked only 1 over the minimum in his 8 innings. Didn't walk a man, struck out 8, and he gave a sign of what was to come in the first inning when he just reared back and threw fastball, and just mowed down venerable Spangenberg and Upton. Now the Padres get a man that throws even harder than deGrom and Noah Syndergaard.
Yeah, pretty simple and straightforward. And it's time now for the Mets Scouting Report, brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Like I said, plain and simple, good hitter. He throws a slurve, a power slurve, and he also throws a changeup. It's quite an arsenal of arms they have with Harvey, Syndergaard, deGrom, and wait till Zach Wheeler comes back. They've got a plethora of arms.
Yeah, the pantry is loaded. The pitching pantry for the Mets. Well, going to get a chance to see Syndergaard stuff. Thor is his nickname. Nordic heritage. Will Venable starts at 253. 96 on that fastball. 1-1.
Syndergaard, right out of the gate, I notice he's kind of a short armor where he doesn't bring the ball out of the glove towards the ground. He kind of out towards the center fielder.
Foul back.
Nothing wrong with that. It's just the way he's been throwing since he was probably a kid. Watch how he brings the ball straight back out towards second base. A lot of pitchers will bring it down this way more. He brings it more out towards that way. Bottom line, he stays on top of the ball, comes right after you.
So 95, 96, and now 97 miles an hour. He can hit 100. From Mansfield, Texas. And here's his first strikeout at 97. A look at the Padres lineup brought to you by Toyota. After Venable is Derek Norris, then Justin Upton hitting third. Matt Kemp in the cleanup spot. Yonder Alonso returns and hits fifth. Will Middlebrooks at third, then Corey Spangenberg. Alexi Amarista in the 8-hole, and Ian Kennedy.
Oh, I love the homemade signs. You bet you. Fear the beard. Derek Norris. You bet. Nicely done, kids.
And here is Norris. Checks in at 283. Nothing but fastball so far. But Syndergaard has an excellent breaking ball. But just as deGrom last night used primarily the fastball early, so has he thus far. There's the breaking pitch. He's 6'6" and 242 pounds. Not Norris, the man on the mound.
That's a keeper.
And just 22 years young. Pounces that pitch. It's 2-1. He doesn't have the command of deGrom, but certainly has the pitches of deGrom and the velocity. There's the man with a heavy salad. Big smile. Work done last night. deGrom, 6th win of the year. 3-1.
Yeah, Syndergaard's giving a run for the money. He's still got a ways to go with Jacob deGrom on the right. Man, I'm jealous.
Just not fair.
Yeah, it's not.
Ground ball toward the hole. Nice stop by Tejada. The throw not in time. Norris with those good wheels beats it out, and the Padres have an early hit.
Well, you can see the intensity on Derek Norris's face, getting on base early and hopefully bringing them around to score. Hey, great job by Tejada doing everything he can. You know, he realizes it is the Padre catcher, but still he can pick him up and put him down. Duda does his best to try to stretch, and he beats it out.
Tejada unable to get to his feet to strengthen his throw across. Still made a fine toss over from his knees. Norris, the first base runner for the Padres, and here's Justin Upton, leading in almost every offensive category. And takes a strike at 98.
I'll have to keep an eye on that fastball. These Padre hitters. I talked to Alonzo Powell, the hitting coach, before the game, along with Mark Kotze, You got to get that fastball. If they get that fastball early, a fat one, jump on it.
So, second man of the night for the Padres, and Syndergaard has to work from the stretch. Jacob deGrom last night pitched from the full windup for the 5 innings. It wasn't until the 6th inning and a single by Barmes he had to work from the stretch. Quite an advantage. And 1-2. Another fastball. Matt Kemp would be next. Pittsburgh playing at San Francisco. The Pirates won last night. The Dodgers are in Colorado, and the Rockies won the first of a doubleheader, making up a rainout earlier in the year. Breaking ball, strike 3, so a couple of punch outs already for Syndergaard.
That is a nice, tight breaking ball out of the hand. You can see it's a power curveball. Talked to Ron Darling of the New York Mets. He's the analyst on TV, and he said it's like a power curveball. It's almost like a power slurve. Not really true. There's Ronnie, the right-hander. Former #1 pick of the Texas Rangers, then traded to the New York Mets.
He's talking about the breaking pitch. Yeah, talking with his hands. All you pitchers. Matt Kemp. Home run hungry Kemp. Hasn't hit a home run since April 18th. The only home run of the season. That was at Wrigley Field. That was 171 plate appearances ago. Talk about due. Norris at first base, 2 out. Mets leading 1-0.
That's 97 with run. Movement.
Yonder Alonso back in the lineup on deck. Check swing. He went around as we present the Mets defense, brought to you by Renovation Realty. Kadir, Lagares, Granderson left to right, around the horn, Tejada, Flores, Murphy, and Duda. Plawecki behind the plate.
Not the best defense for the Mets, so a big key is to put the ball in play, and maybe they can give you some free outs.
Runner goes. Ground ball up the middle. So the only play is to first base with the runner going, and Kemp is out. Play made by Daniel Murphy. 1-0 Mets after 1.
A little bit ago, but Ian Kennedy, a big key so he doesn't break down on that back leg. He's got that, he wants to stay tall on that back leg, so it enables him to get up top and work downhill and not work around the baseball. When he stays tall on the back, he enables his shoulders to stay square to the plate, get up on top, and don't work around, work down to the zone, and therefore maintain the velocity around 91, 92 miles an hour.
Top of the second, the lower third of the Mets order, Lagares, Plawecki, and the pitcher Syndergaard. Another shot through the left side as Lagares on the first pitch drives a base hit to left.
Once again, that back leg breaking down. See if he stays tall on that back leg. Tall, tall, tall. Yeah, that was pretty good. That wasn't bad.
And Juan Lagares, who had a single and a triple last night. A solid single.
Hey, it's not going to be perfect every time. You can have the perfect mechanics and still give up base hits. It's just the consistency of it all and maintaining that.
The catcher, Kevin Plawecki. He went around. Strike one, says first base umpire Chris Siegel. "24-year-old from Purdue University, Plawecki." Travis DeArno, the regular catcher for the Mets, broken finger and has been out of the lineup. And when he returns, and if Murphy returns, rather David Wright returns, then the Mets really will have some hitting prowess to back up this outstanding young pitching staff.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting with David Wright because it's not a day-to-day thing. It's more like a week-to-week thing. But if it keeps going weeks into months, you know, are the Mets going to continue with Tejada, or are they going to try to go out and get somebody to play third base?
Two and two now to Plawecki.
Mark Sweeney made a good point yesterday when he was talking with us, how he was called into Terry Collins' office. He says, yeah, he's going to be our guy for right now. Tejada is, as David Wright is on the mend.
Talked to Terry Collins before the game tonight, and his praise of David Wright through the roof. Said, if I had a daughter, I don't. I'd want her to bring a man home like him. Strike three call. Plawecki caught looking for the first out here in the second. First strikeout for Kennedy.
Hey, and Ian Kennedy got a call. And what do you do as a pitcher when you get this call? You take advantage of it. Go right back out there, because I'll tell you what, if you throw that pitch there 8 out of 10 times, you're going to get a called a strike.
Plawecki on his way to first does the U-turn, one away, and here's Noah Syndergaard. Homer against former Padre Sean O'Sullivan in his last start, Philadelphia. Here he is in only his fifth game, fifth start, already with a big league home run. And it wasn't down the line, it was to center field, 430 some feet.
Good swing. Going straight up the gut.
Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw by Norris, in time. Lagares punched out by second base umpire Dale Scott. Pretty close play, but the man who leads the major leagues in throwing out runners, Derek Norris, has another. That's his 16th of the season.
Oh, he got a good jump too. What a quick release and nice throw. Slap it down there. And it looks like, yes, Amarista got him before Lagares hits the bag. There. Nicely done.
No challenge. 2 away now to Syndergaard. And that pitch just missed. 1 and 2.
Looks like we're going to have an inconsistent strike zone tonight.
Up and in at 92. Got him in the dirt. Couple of strikeouts for Kennedy in the second as the Mets settle for a 1-0 lead. Home half of the second. It'll be Yonder Alonso back in uniform, back from a rehab assignment in the minor leagues and carrying a .333 average into the game tonight. The shoulder blade, and that was the start of the injury. And then on this dive, you see how he cradled that right arm, exacerbated the problem, and that sent him on the 15-day DL, and he's missed 25 games. Severe pain there. It was 4 for 19, a couple of games at Lake Elsinore and 3 more at El Paso, but 7 walks. He feels that there's no problem with the injury. He's healthy again and ready to go.
You know the amazing thing about that play in Arizona? That was an unbelievable flip to Dale Thayer. It was an E1 because it was right at his chest. Yonder did a great job of getting that ball to the pitcher covering on that particular play.
Padres facing right-hander after right-hander with the lineup loaded from the right side, so Yonder has that luxury of rarely seeing a left-handed pitcher. Slices that to left. It's falling in a hurry, and fair ball into the corner. Alonso a turn and will hold as Kadir gets it in. Welcome back, Yonder. Drops a single down that left field line.
That'll bring a smile to anybody's face, especially the manager, Bud Black. As Syndergaard misses with location, Yonder fights it off. What's that, about an 8-iron, Dick, on the left field line?
Yeah.
A 9-iron?
Might have choked up a 7 there.
There you go. Welcome back, Yonder.
Bud Black says, hey, any way you can get on base. That'll fortify the lineup. Will Middlebrooks the hitter. 97 for a strike. Hitting .343 his last 9 games to raise his average up to .239. 3 home runs in those 9 games. Well, that's an easy 97, isn't it?
Sure is.
DeGrom, I mean, has aggressive style and quick and boom to the plate. Syndergaard's a lot like Andrew Kastner, very smooth, ball jumping out of his hand. Ooh, there's the breaking ball, and that's wicked enough. 2-1.
So 2 types of breaking balls I've seen. That one was 12-6 action. The other one was kind of a power slurve. Maybe he just wraps that shorter breaking ball a little bit more.
Fouled off the catcher. 2-2. Corey Spangenberg on deck. So the left-handed hitters Venable, Alonso, Spangenberg, Amarista for the Padres. Line drive, center field, base hit. Alonso will stop at second. Middlebrooks, a short swing, just laid the barrel of the bat on that fastball and drives it for a base hit.
Mark Sweeney said last night when we talked to him how hitters just get the bat started, get the barrel out in front, let the power come from the pitcher. And like you said, Dick, that's just a nice little game of pepper up the big part of the field. And Padres got something going here with nobody out.
Trailing 1-0, their third hit of Syndergaard. And here's Spangenberg. Nice one. And he beats it out. The bases are loaded. Well, that was half sacrifice and half. Maybe I can get a base hit for Spangenberg. He's going to move the runners up and placed it so perfectly that by the time Plawecki could pounce on it, Spangenberg with his speed legs it out for a hit.
Yeah, I think he caught the Mets kind of off guard because Tejada wasn't playing in. And Corey, we know that he can pick him up and put him down with the best of them. Let's see if Alexi can do something.
So bases loaded, no one out for Alexi Amarista. He's glad that May is over. A 162 average in May. There are a lot of hits left in that bat. Alonso, Middlebrooks, and Spangenberg. A Padre over every pillow. Fouled into the glove of Plawecki.
Outfield playing Alexi to go the other way with the good fastball from Syndergaard.
That sails into the second deck down the left field side. Looping single down the left field line by Alonso started the second inning. Middlebrooks laying the barrel on the bat on the ball, and a line drive punch to center, and Spangenberg with a bunt single to load him up.
Let's see if Syndergaard will be a little bit reluctant to throw that breaky ball with the runner on third base. And stay tuned, we got a game break coming up. Rangers, White Sox.
One and two, Amarista. Up the middle, off the glove, and that helps the Padres. That's going to get 2 runs home. And on to third goes Spangenberg. It's 2-1 San Diego. Amarista, with only 9 runs batted in all year, is fortunate that Syndergaard, a good defensive playing pitcher, got his glove on it. I believe it might not have gone through, but he caromed that ball right through the hole on the right side.
As soon as Syndergaard hits this ball, well, as soon as the ball is hit, let's go back to Murphy at second base. He's going towards the center of the diamond in case it gets bad, his pitcher. In case it gets by his pitcher, that opens up that hole, and Syndergaard plays a nice game of flip, putting that ball into right field. Murphy's going. Sorry, not there. 2 runs.
Alonso and Middlebrook scoring. Spangenberg raced over to third. So first and third. No one out. 4 consecutive singles for the Padres here in the second. And that brings up the pitcher Ian Kennedy. Runners at the corners. We'll see how the Padres play it.
We can do so many things here. Safety squeeze, butcher boy, bunt, that guy over to second base. So many options.
Lay down a good bunt. If it's really good, then the runner at third might score. If not, the worst thing that can happen is Amarista winds up at second with 1 out.
Absolutely. With the speed of Spangenberg, a nice little bunt down that first base side would work quite nicely.
And it is a good bunt. Amarista moves up. Kennedy with a sacrifice. So now a base hit could get the Padres a couple more.
Always being aware. It's watching the trajectory of the ball, where it's bunted. The Mets are crashing. The Padres have 2 more chances to get him home.
Venable struck out swinging his first time up. Kennedy producing the sacrifice, and the Padres a chance to add to the 2-1 lead. '97 fastball. Tough to get around on it. Inside at 98. Infield concedes a run for an out. And it goes to 1-2. Derek Norris on deck.
Oh, I like DeGrom last night. He did a fine job of hitting the corners in, hitting the corners away. Syndergaard, this at bat with Venable doing just that. Staying out of the heart of the plate.
Norris with a base hit his first time. Ground ball fair, pass first. That gets 2 more home, and Venable on his way could go for 3. He's galloping around second. A triple for Venable. Padres lead 4-1. Spangenberg and Amarista check in as Venable has his second triple of the season.
Well, mentioned before the game that Will Venable, runners in scoring position and hitting a .500 clip. Adding on to that, everybody's off and running. That's a curveball from Syndergaard. Speeds up his bat. Oh, he's fun to watch from home to third.
Still 1 out, man at third for Norris to try to bring in yet a 5th run in this second inning. Norris, an infield hit to deep shortstop in the first inning. Now the infield in. Tejada Flores on the left side. Murphy and Duda on that right side will try to cut down the run at the plate. And strike 2 at 98. 5 runs allowed in his first 4 starts. This rookie, the 22-year-old, 4 allowed tonight here in the second inning. That last base hit by Venable, the first ball really hit hard by the Padres. And down he goes on a check swing. 2 away. 3rd strikeout for Syndergaard. And here's Justin Upton. Infield moves back. Upton struck out his first time.
Everybody helping out Ian Kennedy. Give him a little breathing room after the Mets scored that 1 run in the first. Going to go out there with a lead, hopefully more than 4.
Club leader in RBIs with 37. Oh, he's consistently there, 97, 98, isn't he? Eighth man to bat here in the second inning. 4 singles and a triple against Terry Collins' Metropolitans. Two and 0. Long inning and the pitch count up to 41. Tried to time that 97-mile-an-hour fastball, but it was by him. Kemp would be next. Three balls and a strike.
Consistently trying to pepper away at the outside corner. We know the hot zone of Justin Upton. He likes it middle, in, down. Syndergaard trying to counter as you take a look at the workload in this inning. 25. You know, I just noticed something. Syndergaard, I'm surprised. It's no big deal. This is really nitpicking. But on his glove hand, he's got some bracelets on. You're not supposed to have that. You can't have anything on your wrists. Just a thought.
If it's on the other wrist, the pitching wrist, then it really could be a distraction. And down goes Upton for the second time. So a couple of strikeouts for Syndergaard. But Alonso, Middlebrook, Spangenberg, and Amarista with singles, and Venable with a 2-run triple. And the Padres, with a 4-run second inning, open a 3-run advantage. Now for the Fan Diego fan of the game.
Oh, he's rocking the Matt Kemp camo. He's rocking the fedora. He's got the sweet salad working. Hey, Al Raboski's here. He's in disguise. He's scouting for the Cardinals.
But he's a fan. So Kennedy works with the lead in the third, top of the order. Granderson, Tejada, and Duda. Granderson lined out to right fielder Kemp. His first time up. That pitch on the inside edge, says plate umpire Buckner. We get word from down below with umpiring change at first base. Lance Barrett has replaced Chris Siegel. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Changeup. And Granderson takes the long one. That's 3 strikeouts in a row for Kennedy. He got Lowecki and Syndergaard to close out the second.
Great changeup. Splits the heart of the plate, but down below the knees, and the Grandy man goes down swinging.
Tejada dropped a single into center field in the first inning. Came around to score on Kadyr's base hit. On that fastball for a strike.
If he can command that part of the plate the rest of the night, Mets aren't going to have a chance. Perfectly located, splitting that outside corner.
Strike two.
Looked like a little slider. Ian Kennedy busting out a slider of some sort. Maybe a little cut fastball away.
Close, but no call. 1-2. Well, Toronto has defeated Washington tonight, so the Mets know that score. Should they win, they move into sole possession of first place in the NL East and a game lead over the Nationals. Chop to the right side. Spangenberg there to throw him out. 2 gone here in the third. Here's our T-Mobile game changer tonight. It features the man coming to the plate, Lucas Duda, and his rankings on offense for the Mets this year, first or second in all those categories, including batting average and home runs.
Yeah, he's doing well lately. Reached base safely in 7 straight. Hit 320 during that span. Terry Collins excited to have him back after getting hit in the knee.
Product of Southern California, Riverside. Tailing that fastball low and away.
He worked underneath that change up there. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, staying on top of the ball, then working around it, underneath it.
Three and 0.
Well, last time up, Duda popped out to center field. We take a look at the hot zone. Ian trying to work down, but then he fished for that pitch number 5 away, worked underneath it. Not a good hack, hence the fly ball. Nice.
Fastball at 92 for a strike. Duda had a couple of 15 home run years with the Mets, and then last year exploded with 30. Knocked in 92 runs. He's 29. And the count runs out. Fiftieth pitch coming up from the 30-year-old Ian Kennedy. He lost him. Second walk for the Mets. And here's a Fox Sports game break. Joey Gallo, a highly touted Texas Ranger, comes up to the big leagues tonight, and all he does is homer, single, and double. Nearly a cycle for this young man from Las Vegas, Nevada. Grew up with Chris Bryant and a guy named Bryce Harper. How's that for a trio?
Yeah.
Joey Gallo.
Welcome to the big leagues.
Daniel Murphy walked his first time. That moved Tejada into scoring position, and he scored then on Kadyr's single. He was on that one. Fouled it straight back.
Yeah, up just enough.
Dyer, National League bat champ 2 years ago with the Rockies. .457 in the last 9 games for Murphy. 2-1.
Well, the velocity's still there at 92 for Ian Kennedy. Staying on top of the fastball. And with him pitching away, that's exactly where the outfield is playing. And Venable on the shortstop side, Upton over towards the line big time in left field.
High fly ball to center. Venable's had a busy night. 4-1 Padres. It'll be Matt Kemp leading off the bottom of the third.
Noah Syndergaard, as we said, goes by the nickname Thor. A fan gave him to him a few years ago. Part of it's the long blonde hair, also because he likes to lift heavy weights and throws the fastball like a hammer. So a few Halloweens ago decided to dress up as Thor there. Also known for giving his gloves nicknames. The glove that he has now is named Thor, but these are some other ones. Rick Grimes, which is off The Walking Dead, and Heisenberg, which is off Breaking Bad. And the interesting part of those two gloves, they went missing, Noah said. So if you see them on eBay, buy it for me, give it back. Which got us to thinking. We were talking before the game today. Dick, I know that you came up with a few. Mud, you did too. Favorite nicknames around baseball?
There used to be so many great ones, and it's kind of limited these days. Huh? All the good ones taken, apparently.
I think it's something that should be brought back. I love the old nicknames.
Heisenberg, huh? There's another Enberg. I hadn't counted him in the clan.
Yeah. Say my name.
Spange Enberg. Got him going now. Kemp with a weak wave at that breaking ball.
I'd have to say my favorite nickname of all time would be my namesake, a man who I dearly love, Jim Mudcat Grant.
Mudcat? Yeah, I can understand that. My favorite was the Splendid Splinter.
There you go.
He goes around. Another strikeout. Syndergaard has 5. That's 3 in a row. Norris, Upton ending the last inning, and now Kemp here in the third.
Catfish Hunter. Mark the Bird Fidrich.
Blue Moon Odom.
Very nice.
I don't think anyone came up with that. Those down in the dugout with Bud Black. Chris was throwing out some nicknames, and he liked the Bambino. That's tough to beat the Bambino. Yeah. Sultan of SWAT. Ground ball through the left side for Alonso. Welcome back indeed. 2 for 2. Alonso going the opposite way. Back to the strikeout of Kemp. That's significant And we'll give you the reason why as you see how he just stroked that right where it was pitched. Only 20 pitchers in the history, not of the Mets, in the history of the game have had 5 or more strikeouts in their first 5 major league games. Syndergaard's one of them. How about that? Breaking ball. It's tough to be ready for that one. Middlebrooks, one of the 4 straight singles Padres produced in the second, along with Venable's triple, to score 4. Oh, 1-1. Chris mentioned that Thor, Syndergaard, likes to get in the gym, workout. He squats 460 pounds.
Wow. That's a strong lower half.
Yeah, that's where you get that pitching power of that fastball from down below the belt. Out of play.
Hey, since the Mets are in town, and we're talking nicknames, Doc Gooden. The Grand Orange. Rusty Staub was on
I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
The Grand Orange, yes. Yeah, they just it's a different generation, a different time. Not a lot of nicknames handed out. Ground ball pulled foul past third. Yeah, we got a time now to check on the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, the first one, hitters. One thought in mind, and they've done a nice job, is hunting the fastball out of the hand of Syndergaard, using the big part of the field and advancing the dirt. What I mean by that is the breaking ball. This is a perfect situation. If they recognize a breaking ball in the dirt, Syndergaard sometimes bounces it. Take that extra 90 feet. Get in the scoring position.
That looks like you're working on an A the first semester here. Foul tip into the glove of Plawecki. 6 strikeouts now for Syndergaard. Corey Spangenberg, the hitter, he bunted his way on for a single.
Oh, you can see that Will Middlebrooks very tardy on that fastball. He threw him a couple breaking balls at bat, at least one that I saw.
Spangenberg placed a beautiful bunt up the third base side for a hit, later scored a run. Ooh. A line drive slicing to left. Foul ball. Hustling was Alonso. He would have tried to score had that fallen fair. You know, you go back, and I think in part why there were so many good nicknames going back in sports history is that the writers, you know, we didn't have television and there was some radio, but the writers, in describing the action more colorfully, they gave these nicknames. How about Galloping Ghost and Bronco Nagurski?
Makes perfect sense. So they could visualize something.
Line drive. This one's going to be fair. Into the left field corner. Alonso is coming around third. Having trouble. Kadire in the corner. Alonso scores into third. Out.
No run. You didn't touch home in time.
Oh, my. That cost the Padres a run.
Yep.
As Spangenberg running out of gas between second and third. Alonso hadn't reached home plate when Spangenberg was tagged at third, and the call by plate umpire Buckner was immediate. Here it is. That ball gets away. Certainly with 2 outs, Alonso figured to be able to score. But he's just jogging home, not hurrying home. Now the throw, and
he might be safe.
He is safe. That puts in under the tag. A challenge by Bud Black.
See,
now the crowd, listen to all those umpires cheering. They know. And if overruled, a triple for Spangenberg, and the Padres will get another run. This is a big review. Because if Bud Black is successful, gets the safe call, then it's 5-1, and the Padres still have a man at third with 2 outs. Right now, Spangenberg standing at third with a double. And Alonso is going to scold himself for not hustling more, coming home with the play. You got to keep running hard because he put it into low gear, and that could have been costly. So here's the call. Spangenberg trying to beat Tejada's tag. Third base umpire Iasonia, who tossed out both Black and Kemp last night, made the call.
Yeah, clearly safe there.
And that is exactly how they saw it in New York. A triple for Spangenberg. And the Padres have a 5-1 lead. 6th RBI of the season for Corey.
Corey Spangenberg doing a nice job of taking Syndergaard the opposite way and utilizing that speed. A little bit of a break. Maybe that's a break for San Diego, as Syndergaard had to wait till that challenge was approved.
Couple of triples for the Padres tonight. That's the first game this year. A pair of 3-base hits, and there's Amarista, knocked in a couple of runs. Squares and takes a strike. His soft line drive back through the mound was deflected by Syndergaard. You couldn't have done it better had you thrown it into right field off his glove and between the hole on the right side, because Murphy, the second baseman, was backing up the play, thinking he might have a chance around second base. Out of play. All right, let's go back to Spangenberg's triple. Alonso hustling there to get to third. Once he passes third, kind of eases up a little bip right there, jogs in the last 25 feet, and it almost cost the Padres.
Well, he was gassed.
He hadn't been playing much. He's only had 5 rehab games.
That tank was on E. It was on fumes.
Where's the fuel station? So Venable with a 2-run triple, and Spangenberg knocks in another run with a 3-base hit. Breaking ball, strike 3. So Syndergaard strikes out the side. That's 7 in the game for him. But the Padres, on Alonso's single, Spangenberg's triple, have a 5-1 lead after 3 at Petco tonight. Night in the Mets 7-0 shutout. Come up with 5 runs and 8 hits through 3 against Noah Syndergaard. Dick Enberg with Mark Grant, Chris Button, and out on the Jack deck tonight is Mark Sweeney.
Hey, thanks, guys. And we all know how special this ballpark is, but what a great spot out here on the Jack deck. And the reason for it, you are right in Matt Kemp's back pocket. The right fielder is right there. Obviously, you can catch some home runs. Last night, Daniel Murphy ended up hitting a home run into here, but this is a great view, and you can see right behind the right fielders.
Only appropriate that if he's going to hit a home run, Daniel Murphy does it in the Jack Daniel deck out there, I guess. Now you behave yourself. Swains?
I am definitely going to do that. There's social sparklers all over this place. Good kids area. Guys, up to 120 people they can have out here. It's a great spot.
Mark, I've got a question for you. From a fan standpoint, that edge from the wall back to where the seating area is it far enough to where there can't be any interference where the fan could, interject?
Yeah, out here you can actually see, Mark, there's a padded area that's probably about 3.5 feet, and then there's cement moving back another 3 feet. So I'm saying 5.5, maybe
so really,
6 feet.
Yeah, right there. That's exactly. So a fan really can't reach over there.
No, they can't get over there.
Yeah,
you have to be very athletic, like the types we are.
Michael Kadire singled in a run his first time up. 1-2 the count. Ground ball right side and through past the dive of Alonso, and you have to watch Alonso. He's able to jump to his feet. It was a dive much like that going the other way that created the injury, shoulder injury. Kadire 2 for 2.
Good tuck and roll by Yonder Alonso as we take a look at Kadire, and that's one of the reasons why he was a batting champion, using the whole field and tuck that glove, roll on the shoulder. Most of the roll on the back there, so that's a good sign. Got up, no problem.
Wilmer Flores, the shortstop, flied to center field. Kadire with a couple of hits tonight. He's hit safely now a streak of 8 games. Fly ball to left. He didn't get all of that. Upton is there. And Kadire bluffs and returns to first. Juan Lagares singled his first time. Well, last night, Murphy's home run, we're talking about that padding and then the concrete. He hit that just off the padding, that close to Kemp making a spectacular catch. Home run, a 2-run shot for Murphy, his 4th of the year. Lagares takes strike 1.
Guys, the other aspect out here, too, you got the jack deck, but also the Petco porch right down here. Great view right down the right field line. And you see that's probably the home run area, especially for these left-handers and possibly a right-hander slicing it down the line.
Just 322 to that foul pole, and then it angles out. That's a popular spot. That Petco porch is pretty well full tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, it is full, and you see a lot of people that are engaged out here. They have a full social sparklers, obviously, but food and beverage, and there's a lot of space all the way out to that right center area.
Oh, and 2 the count. 1 out. Kadire at first. 4th inning. Padres have a 5-1 lead. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The changeup. And Lagares is the 4th victim tonight of Ian Kennedy.
Well, Ian has got it working. He's staying on top of that changeup and throwing it just like his fastball. And Lagares way out in front of it. When you see that swing and you see the ball just approaching the hitting zone, but yet that hitter is committed to swing almost all the way through, that means to tell you he's throwing a nasty changeup tonight.
With 2 away, Kevin Plawecki, the catcher, took a 3rd strike. Thought it was ball 4. Kennedy got a good call. Breaking ball for a strike.
Nice.
So out there in that jack that they're seating for up to 70 people. 50 standing room only tickets available, so you can have quite a party out there, huh?
You can have a lot of parties out here, and honestly it's a great view. You actually feel like you're in right field because this padded area just takes you into that grass area. It just doesn't really give you that track feel that you have. You have that outfield track that's right in front of the wall, but you don't see that from out here.
It's not the height of the Green Monster at Fenway, but it has that same effect that puts you almost on the field of play.
You know, guys, the greatest part too, Dick, and you see this, the changes that they've made, the Padres have made, is you can see them trying to rob a home run. I think that's an exciting moment that I think a lot of fans like to see.
Line drive to Spangenberg, and that's how the inning ends for the Mets in the 4th. In the bottom of the inning, Ian Kennedy will be leading off. Sycuan Casino, only 25 miles from Petco Park. By Jack in the Box, try the new Double Jack, only at Jack in the Box. And by Jerome's, proud sponsor of the best seats in the house here at Petco Park. Bottom of the fourth inning. Padres with a 5-1 advantage. Ian Kennedy, Will Venable, and Derek Norris to hit against Noah Syndergaard. Syndergaard 2-2 coming in with an ERA of 1.82 and a .237 batting average. Just take a seat, fans. Enjoy yourself out there behind Matt Kemp. Kennedy successfully sacrificed his first time. Ian with one hit in 12 at-bats.
Guys, typically with a pitcher up, you'll see the right fielder shift over to the line and also have that communication with Juan Lagares, the center fielder, to have him come over as well.
That's an interesting comment by Kadire and Granderson about Lagares and his Gold Glove abilities. To look down on still the worn turf from the concert, Rolling Stones concert last weekend. But the grass is growing back, and by the time we come home from our next road trip, it should be as verdant as always. Yep. Up high.
Mark, I know you're way out in right field, but still pretty impressive, even from that vantage point, what Noah Syndergaard has to offer. Don't you think? Must be having a social spark.
Yeah, you got to watch him.
I don't blame him.
Swing and a miss. That's the 8th strikeout for Syndergaard. So here, in case you folks out there would like to have your own party and enjoy the Jack Deck, there it is, semi-private, open-air party, seating for up to 70 people. I guess then you can have another 50 standing room, and it all includes your ticket, food, and beverages. And for more information, group sales will be happy to help you. Outside section 109 or visit Padres.com.
How can you not have a good time out there?
How can you not have a good time in this beautiful baseball palace? Every seat's a good seat. Yeah, there's your favorite bartender, old number 7. Venable struck out and then tripled in 2 runs in the 4-run second inning. Ground ball into right field. He has another hit. 1-out single for Venable.
Well, Mark, from your vantage point, even though you're far away, Noah Syndergaard's got impressive stuff, huh?
Very impressive stuff. You see the power fastball. We've seen some good breaking balls. I think like anything else, Mark, you're going to get some inconsistencies with younger pitchers. They're going to miss location, and when you miss location up here, it really speaks to the volumes of what Jacob deGrom did last night. He had velocity, but he did not miss over the middle of the plate. Tonight you're seeing some more of those misses from the young Syndergaard.
Derek Norris, a single and a strikeout. Padres now with 9 hits, leading 5-1. Well, since the Padres left the Angels have been hot, winning 5 in a row, and both Trout and Pujols been on a home run tear. I think he had 2 yesterday. He and Trout both with 13. He's hit another tonight, and that's his 534th home run.
He's got to be up there on the leaderboard, huh?
Jimmy Fox,
double X,
number 17, ties Fox on the all-time list.
Wow.
One strike to Derek Norris. Angels are trailing Tampa Bay up in Anaheim 2-1 in the 6th inning. The run on the Pujols home run. Trying to shoot it to right field. Well, it's time to check the Cholula flamethrower.
Noah Syndergaard, 98. Mark Sweeney, what is that?
That is hot sauce.
And how is that for you, Mark Grant?
That gets a little freaky, doesn't it?
I think he's going to cough up a fur ball. I'm so worried about this.
It's muy picante.
Hey, you know, though, these hitters can turn that around, though, if it's straight. We know that as well.
No pitch on that 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
98 and straight. A lot of guys will turn around, but Syndergaard has a little bit of run to that fastball.
And again, like all these young Mets pitchers, no walks, 8 strikeouts.
Jack Leathersich warming up in the Mets bullpen, the left-hander. Got 3 left-handers down there for Terry Collins Mets.
Another foul. You know, Terry Collins went to Eastern Michigan. He grew up in Midland, Michigan, which is only 20 miles from Central Michigan. So I went down and said, come on, Terry, I mean, you've got a good baseball program. The Chippewas right there. How can you go to Eastern Michigan, Jeff Bryles School?
Right.
And he said, I wanted to go to Central Michigan. In fact, Dave Keilitz, who was also from Midland, Michigan, was the assistant baseball coach at the time, later to be the head coach. Up high. And he said they offered me a couple of T-shirts, the Chippewas. That's what I got. And they said that if I'd pay for my room and board, you could even stay on campus. And Eastern Michigan came up there, their coach, they liked what they saw in college. Said, you got a full scholarship. So,
I'm sure he was full of fire, too, don't you think, Terry Collins?
He had to take that. But he regrets the fact that he didn't get to experience of Central Michigan.
Mount Pleasant, correct?
Yeah, Mount Pleasant. Just 20 miles due west from Midland, where he grew up. That's where Dow Chemical is located in Midland, and there's a beautiful minor league park there, a Dodger farm system. Anyway, 1-2 to Norris. He goes, and a high fly ball hit very well to left field. Kadyr's looking up, and he will touch the ball. Norris has homered again. Venable scores in front of Norris, and the Padres have built a 7-1 lead. Number 5 for the Padre catcher.
Norrisaurus Rex coming through big time. And he'll eat that hanging breaking ball. 1 and 2. The leg kick, get extended out front. You hangy? Oh, he will bangy. And he did just that.
Well,
that was nice.
A game being shown around the nation on MLB, and a chance for Norris to make a statement. He deserves more votes for that All-Star game. Here's a man hitting .283. He's knocked in 34 runs, second on the team, among the National League leaders, and for catchers on the major league level, number 1 in many categories, including throwing out runners. What a pickup he was from the Oakland A's in the offseason. Justin Upton has struck out both times. Yeah, the Padres punching a hole in that fine ERA of Syndergaard. There's that wicked curveball. 0-2, or slider, or slur. Upton has moved up into the 7th most votes for an outfielder. Seems that 6 will make it. But a lot of folks forgetting Derek Norris, but certainly not just because he's the hometown call for us here in San Diego, but because he deserves the attention, All-Star attention. He was last year in the American League. He made the team in the dirt. 2-2. Still only 1 out here in the 4th. Padres with some crooked numbers. 4 in the 2nd, now 2 here in the 4th. A singleton in the 3rd inning for a 7-1 lead. 365 feet they measured Norris's home. In the dirt again, 3-2.
Now after that hanging breaking ball to Norris, Syndergaard is afraid to throw that breaking ball for a strike, it looks like. The last 2 have been in the dirt, not even close. It's also nice to see Ian Kennedy get some breathing room.
Strike 3 again. 3 times up, 3 times he's been struck out by Syndergaard. That's now 9 for the young right-hander.
Well, one of the toughest pitches to hit for any hitter. Fastball down and away. That's got good downward plane. And according to Fox Tracks, brought to you by Southland Technology, that said it was right on the outside corner. The ball was touching that corner.
Throw it there every time with that velocity. You just write it, your name, get it ready for etching at Cooperstown. That's the pitcher's pitch. Here's Kemp. Grounded out, struck out. Pitch count now up to 81 for Thor. Get ready for the 97, 98 mile an hour fastball, and then he throws that wrinkle at you, buckles your knees. Now, this game tonight is mirroring what happened last night to Andrew Kashner. He had a career high 12 strikeouts and yet didn't get into the 5th inning and gave up 5 runs earned and 11 hits. And here's Syndergaard. He struck out 9 and he's given up 7 runs and 10 hits.
This game will drive you nuts, won't it? You can't figure it out.
10 strikeouts for Syndergaard, but a single by Venable to right field, and Derek Norris delivers his 5th home run of the season. And with that, the Padres, after 4 here at Petco, have a 7-1 lead. Arizona enter Inciarte against the Atlanta Braves with a 2-run single, and in the 6th inning, Arizona now has a 4-1 lead over the Atlanta Braves. And a look at the National League West standings, our National University standings. Dodgers, San Francisco, San Diego, Arizona, Colorado. Tightly bunched, and the Dodgers are trying to rally in the 9th inning at Colorado. They were 9-6 going into the 9th. It's now the Dodgers have gone ahead of Colorado 9-8. Colorado led 8-3.
Boy, if this Padre team, Dick, can get on like a 6-game roll, right? Win 6.
Danny Muno is the pinch hitter for Syndergaard.
7 out of 10, 10 out of 15.
For the last 13 is Muno, and the count goes 1-2 on him. So Syndergaard out of the game. Swing and a miss. That's 5 strikeouts for Kennedy. Syndergaard goes 4 innings, gives up 7 runs, 10 hits. did not walk a man and struck out 10. Crazy. Just like last night with Keck. Ashner and the Syndergaard can commiserate after the game tonight. Top of the order, Curtis Granderson lined out to right and struck out.
Well, Mark Sweeney has changed vantage points here at Petco Park. And, Mark, I want to get your perspective on Ian Kennedy. Big start for the right-hander, and he's throwing the ball extremely well.
He is, and exactly what you said earlier, Mark. He's getting run support. I think it's very different, especially with his pitching staff. But this is another viewpoint that we have down here where I think it's pretty cool. Down the right field line, we went from the jack deck, and then now we're moving closer to the infield. You see closer to the action. And you see a bird's eye view of Ian Kennedy as well.
So you're moving down toward the Padre first base dugout. Another foul, Granderson 1-2.
You know, Dick and Mark, it just gives you that perspective how close you are to the field, how fast the game is, the velocity on the pitches. Obviously, Syndergaard with his velocity, but you see Ian Kennedy, and it's something that you see the differential, but you also see a veteran pitcher going at his craft.
As you motor around and move around Petco Park tonight, I'm reminded of the Spink Award winner, the Hall of Fame winner last year, Roger Angel, the fabulous writer who described during the spring training game and other times how wonderful the game is as a fan, that you can move into so many places and see this game from such a different angle. It's almost as if you're watching a different game.
And it shows exactly what Petco Park's all about, too. There's not a bad seat in the house.
A changeup, and Granderson is the 6th strikeout victim for Ian Kennedy.
Well, Ian's got the mechanics locked in. He's got the arm slot locked in. He's working downhill, and therefore the pitches have got that movement. The changeup has got that darting action. Let's check it in. Oh, yeah, it's that circle changeup grip. Comes out almost like a big balloon just floating up there. And you can see Granderson swings, turns himself right into knot right there.
Tejada singled in the first inning and came home on a 2-out single by Kadire for the Mets run. Grounded to second his last time. Curveball for a strike.
That was a doozy. Love the old yacker.
The old Uncle Charlie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you get that feel on a curveball, it just jumps out of your hand. You get that good rotation.
It's a call there. 0-2. Pitch away from striking out the side. Purpose fastball. Change that eye level of the hitter. Duda would be next. Got him. Striking out the side. Ian Kennedy here in the 5th inning. Gets the pinch hitter Muno. Then the leadoff hitter Granderson. And Tejada. Uno, dos, adios. June 2nd, 2010, Mets and Padres, 11th inning, Adrian Gonzalez, a walk-off grand slam, and the Padres beat the New York Mets.
Oh my gosh, look at all the names here. Latos, Hairston, LeBlanc, Tony Gwynn Jr.
And Will Venable, who's the longest tenured Padre in this 2015 season. Yonder Alonso has returned, contributed a couple of singles, and scored 2 runs tonight. Middlebrooks and Spangenberg to follow in the Padre 5th inning against the new pitcher, Jack Leathersich from Beverly, Massachusetts. He is 5'11", 202 pounds, a pick of the Mets 4 years ago in the draft in the 5th round. Went to University of Massachusetts Lowell. 0-2.
Well, the left-hander out there, brought to you by the pitching change, brought to you by El Cajon Ford. Jack Leathersich is a 3-pitch pitcher, fastball, changeup, curveball. 89-94.
And another base hit for Alonso. Just floats one into shallow center field. A 3-for-3 night for Yonder. That'll help that .333 batting average.
You betcha. And another good sign, lefty on lefty. Let's check it out. Breaky ball, stays on it nicely. Pulls it to the first base side of second base. Nice.
Against Syndergaard, his 2 hits were to left field. Drops that one into shallow right center. Middlebrooks a single and a strikeout. So for Noah Syndergaard in his 5th start, giving up 7 runs, all earned, and 10 hits, since ERA went from 1.82 to 3.77. That's an ouch.
Yeah, that'll hurt.
One of those nights too, that 4-run second inning, the first 4 hits were, none was hit that hard, but they found the right spot, and then Will Venable crushed one up the line for a triple into right field to drive in a couple. Derek Norris with a home run, Padres with a singleton in the 3rd as well, and Spangenberg's triple. 1-2. Slicing down the right field side and headed for the seats.
Is that near Mark Sweeney down there?
No, I'm not down there, guys. I'm right near the dugout. I was down there, but I'm smart enough to get out of the way.
You knew it was coming, huh?
I knew it. I had that feeling. It's one of those nights.
Was it more than a feeling, Mark?
More than a feeling, yes.
You're going to have every announcer in the country jealous of your job tonight, roaming around.
Yeah, it's a great job. I always say it. Lucky man.
And like Mark said earlier, the game speeds up the closer you get. Now he's perched down there by the Padre dugout. That fastball seems a little bit harder, and the ball off the bat a little bit quicker. And as a fan, you have to be heads up as well, obviously.
If you could get your box seats or your seats anywhere in Petco Park, where would you want to sit?
Toyota Terrace right on that corner, just to our right. There's a little angle where the Toyota Terrace comes out just below the press level, right there. I like those seats. One, or no, yeah, maybe right here, somewhere in that quadrant right there.
So up in the second deck.
Yes. Good foul ball territory. You get a good angle of seeing plays develop, kind of looking down on it. Hey, don't get me wrong, I love field level seats, but right in that area there.
My favorite is behind the third base dugout. I'd like to look through the pitcher and you get all the plays. And you get to see the ball going, ground balls, you know, the throw over to first base.
Right.
You're looking right into that. Not too low. I don't want to be ducking line drives, but I like that angle. Another high fly ball. That's a long run for Murphy, but he's there and makes the catch in fair territory. One away. And our closed captioning, as per usual, brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. Corey Spangenberg is 2 for 2 tonight. A bunt single and a triple into the left field corner. Knocked in a run. How about you, Mark Sweeney? Do you have a favorite spot as a fan?
Yeah, you know what? I like the second level of the first deck. I think that's a good level. You like to be a little bit higher so you can see the type of pitch, but you can also see how the fielders are moving and how they're shifting, especially these defensive shifts we always talk about.
So you'd like to be in that first row of the second deck?
I like that part.
Yeah.
Now, those suites we were sitting in against the Royals last year, those were pretty nice, weren't they, Professor?
Yeah, they're occupied tonight. Right behind the plexiglass, you could look right into the Mets dugout.
Yeah, you can have a party down there as well now.
Runner goes, pitches outside. The throw is on the money, and out is Alonso. Well thrown by Plawecki. He had to make a perfect toss, and it was right there in the bag. Alonso tagging himself out on the throw.
Decent jump going on the first move from the lefty. That ball kind of short hopped as well. Murphy, let's check it out. Ooh, that was close. I think Buddy might challenge this.
He's been successful on his challenge, so he has another if he wants it. And apparently he has for the challenge.
You know what, Dick? I think I saw Alonso. He did a nice job of sliding. His foot was on the outfield part of the second base bag, and he almost got his foot. Let's take a look. Watch where his foot goes on the outside of the bag there, and I think it's a whiff from Murphy.
That's such a good point, Mark, that you make, because you see that outside part with that right foot, and that's what you want to do. You want to look for that outside part of the bag to make it a tougher tag, and you can see Murphy swiped that. Didn't look like he got it from me from my angle either.
And will he have a chance here? It just is mind-boggling what this game of baseball can produce, and you try to figure out how can it be. Last night, Andrew Kastner became the first in Major League history with 10 strikeouts while giving up 10 hits and pitching less than 5 innings. Hadn't happened before.
Right.
Happened again tonight.
Where?
Back to right here. Syndergaard struck out more than 10.
Oh my gosh,
struck out 20
in fewer than 5 innings.
In fewer than 5 innings, and gave up 10 hits.
I would have never guessed that. That is unbelievable. Back-to-back nights at the same ballpark.
Josh Issue all over it for the Padres media staff. Isn't that incredible? The call stands, and Alonso is out trying to steal.
You know, I think Murphy may have gotten him on the toe before Alonso reached the bag. Wow.
So 2 away, and Spangenberg. They count 2-0. On the inside corner, 89-mile-an-hour fastball.
That just goes to show you, Dick. I even wrote it down on my book. It didn't even occur to me as I wrote it down about Syndergaard. Fewer than 5 innings, 10 hits, 10 strikeouts.
Isn't that amazing?
Cashner last night, fewer than 5, 11 hits, 12 strikeouts. Unbelievable. and it hadn't happened in Major League history, ever.
Yeah, not just the Padres we're talking about, or this year. We're talking about 100 years plus of baseball in all of the games. Up high, and Spangenberg earns a walk. He's been on base all 3 times tonight. A key play back in the second inning. Amarista up with the bases loaded, and Syndergaard gets his glove on it, and you couldn't have planned that yourself, Amarista, because I believe Murphy might have had a play behind second. Yep. It could have been a double play. Instead, it goes into right field for a 2-run single. Padres went on to score 4 runs in the inning. There goes Spangenberg, and they won't get Spangenberg. That throw by Plawecki off mark anyway, and Spangenberg logs his 5th stolen base of the season. Padres never too many runs.
Now with the left-hander out there, it's a do or die. You're going on that first move. You can't wait, and it's a short hop throw from Plawecki.
Pitch was called a ball at the plate. Amarista takes ball 2. The walk to Spangenberg is significant as well. It's the first time in 3 games the Mets have walked 1 batter. As we said, you have to earn your way on. Amazingly, no one can compare with their record of 11 games out of their 52. 11 times out of 52, they have not allowed a single walk in that game.
You know, sometimes that can come back to bite you because you're too much in the zone, and it could be bad pitches in there, so like wild in the strike zone, like you referred to earlier.
Right. But these young arms,
oh, they're good. Yeah, they're good,
and they're accurate. You know, Syndergaard tonight didn't walk a man. Jacob deGrom last night in 8 innings didn't walk anyone. 2-2 now to Amarista. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Jack Leathersich has his first strikeout. Tonight with the bases loaded, Amarista with that carom shot off the glove of Syndergaard to drive in the first 2 runs of the game. And then Will Venable knocked in 2 more with a double into the right field corner. Actually a triple for Venable, 4-0. Spangenberg played the triple game as well. That was in the 3rd, 5-1. And then the frosting on the cake from Derek Norris, a 2-run homer in the 4th. And the Padres with their 7-1 lead. The Mets got their run in the first inning, a single and a walk and an RBI single from Kadire. So there you have it. Syndergaard roughed up, 4 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs, 10 strikeouts. Kennedy back in form tonight. Derek Norris 2 for 3, a single and a home run. Venable 2 for 3, a single and a triple, and a couple of runs batted in.
Well, Ian's thrown the ball extremely well. His confidence has got to be really skyrocketing tonight. Just stay within himself, maintain the same mechanics. He's got the feel of the changeup and the curveball. He's got all 3 working tonight.
Efficient as well. This is just the 80th pitch. Duda. And the count 1-1.
Dick, it's interesting that you're saying, excuse me, Mark, but 88 pitches against Pittsburgh last time, and where he struggled. You see him very efficient tonight, as you guys talked about. He looks very comfortable, calm, and he looks like he's executing his game plan as well.
Yeah, and you don't mark that last fastball. Good sign at 91. 91, 92 this late in the game, this many pitches. That's a good sign.
Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Oh, look, he had a little cut to it.
Duda, Murphy, and Kadire, the heart of the lineup for the Mets here in the top of the 6th.
Well, after the first inning, 2 for 13, a couple singles, 7 strikeouts.
Struck out the last 3 men. Line drive, Alonso! Yonder with a couple of hits tonight, actually 3 base hits, and his glove comes into play. The Padres have missed that as well. He took a double away from Duda.
That's a beautiful shot there.
Freeze that in full flight. Alonso played the carousel music, Calliope music. Murphy has walked and flied to center.
Hey, that keeps Ian Kennedy in the windup. That's a hang with him.
No pun intended.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I didn't think Alonso could jump that high, did you?
I didn't think so. That was a beautiful play.
Yeah. He was at rim level. He could have dunked that.
Guys, he had a smile on his face, but the reason for it, that had a lot of topspin. One of those times where you want to jump up because you know the height of the baseball, and then it has that curveball action at the end.
2-0. And a strike. Fastball at 92 to Murphy. Well, Kennedy has struck out 7 tonight. He hasn't gotten this man Murphy. He's one of the toughest to strike out. Second toughest in the major leagues, in fact. And the count in Murphy's favor, 3-1.
Even though he missed way upstairs, it's one of the harder fastballs Kenny's thrown tonight. 93.
He strikes out only once in every nearly 14 at bats. That's second best in the bigs. Taking all the way, 3-2. Career .290 hitter. Jacksonville, Florida. Grew up. Swing and a miss. So Kennedy really on his game. There's some evidence to strike out a man that very rarely does. That's 8 strikeouts for Kennedy.
Little movement on that fastball. Getting up on top. Boy, very late is Murphy. Danny Murphy going down swinging.
2 away in the 6th. Kadire 2 for 2. A couple of singles. RBI single, ground ball to center, and he singled through the right side last time. It's a season high for Kennedy, 8 strikeouts. His previous high 6, if you're wondering about career. Last year against Miami, fan 12. And he's ahead of Kadire 1-2.
Well, how about a little review about Ian Kennedy? Staying taller on his backside, staying on top of the baseball, not working around the baseball, therefore maintaining velocity, working downhill. It's affecting his curveball, better bite, and better down and in on the changeup. Like that.
So after his last outing, where he was cuffed around, gave up 3 home runs, the issue was, is there something wrong with his mechanics, or is there something wrong with him physically? And that was the question hanging out there. And fortunately, it was mechanics, and Darren Balsley took him to school.
Yeah, when Ian runs into trouble, like a lot of pitchers, he'll work around underneath the baseball like this and push it.
That ball ripped into the left field corner by Kadire. And Kadire on his way to second with his 3rd base hit of the night. A ringing double with 2 away.
When you break down the backside of your leg, you have a tendency to work underneath the baseball like this. Okay, you want to stay tall on the backside so Ian stays on top here. And watch my shoulder. When you work around the ball too, your shoulder kind of goes like this. He wants to get that up top, stay up on top. So on the changeup, on the curveball, if you work around it, it's going to be flat. If you work around the changeup, it's going to be flat. You got to stay up on top here to get there.
Okay, if you were a tennis player and you wanted to slice the ball, you'd be coming like you're saying this. But if you want to you want to ace somebody with some real mustard,
right?
Same thing, huh? Stand tall. Okay, Bjorn. Ground ball through the left side. Flores with a base hit. That'll check Kadire with a second Mets run, and it's 7-2. Flores' 24th RBI.
Let's check out this pitch. Yeah, that one just kind of rolled up there, and it was right down the center of the plate. Speeds up his bat a little bit as well. And
he finds the 5.5 hole. And the Padres lead cut to 5 at 7-2, and here comes Darren Balsley out to chat with Kennedy. So the keen eye of the dean of pitching, Darren Balsley, to be able to say, okay, let's go back into the classroom, look at your pitching form, your mechanics, and find something that isn't working right. I mean, that's really an art in itself.
I learned something new every day, and I know that sounds so cliche, Dick, but I tell you what, talking to Buddy, talking to Darren, mechanics, I'm just fascinated at what a different set of eyes we'll see. And if he's, he works with these guys every single day, every single pitch.
And it's not overcoaching.
No.
He doesn't tell them too much. It's just one little aspect.
Right.
Try just this and see if that doesn't work. Lagares, a single and a strikeout.
And look at, you talk about adjusting as Dale Thayer heats up. Right after the visit, he throws a curveball for a called strike.
Dirty Dale getting ready.
There's a nickname. There you go.
And back with a fastball at 91, 0-2. Breaking ball spins low and away.
One of the greatest nicknames ever. To say, hey, kid.
Yeah.
Willie Mays, right?
No, he really created his own. That's the expression he used.
Yeah.
How about Jolt and Joe while you're talking about New York nicknames?
Yeah.
Pulled foul past third.
Mark, I wanted to ask you a question. With that being the 98th pitch for Ian Kennedy, coming off a bad start last time, how important is it for him to have a good feeling coming out of this start, especially with the lead tonight?
Great question, Mark, because I think if I wanted to make a decision, if he gets this last out, that's it for Ian Kennedy. A good 6 innings, especially after last outing. Take him into his next bullpen and then to his next start. That's a good call. I think he's had a good night's work.
And he's leading off the next inning, so it's a logical time for Bud Black to go to a pinch hitter.
It's so important, Mark. I mean, and Mark, you make a good point. I don't care if you're a rookie or a 10-year veteran. When you're struggling like that, you don't put up the numbers, and you have an out like this, it does wonders for a pitcher's confidence.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, almost hit him. So 2-2 the count. 100th pitch coming up.
One more good pitch, big boy. Call it a night. Shook off the curveball and the fastball to go to the changeup.
And fouled off his front foot. Well placed, that changeup.
Yes, it was.
Toronto has defeated Washington tonight, 7-3. Mets and Washington tied for first coming into play tonight. Dodgers lost the first game to Colorado 6-3. They've rallied from 8-3 down and lead 9-8 in the 9th inning of the second game.
Fastball away.
And the count goes full. Meanwhile, at San Francisco, the Pirates have a 5-4 lead in the 5th inning. So the National League West are caught up to date, except for the Arizona score. The last we reported, they were leading Atlanta 4-1 in the 6th. Runner will be off. Flores. And a fly ball slicing and right. Long run for Kemp. Watch out. Oh. And fortunately went into that slide a little late. Almost into the pits.
Now there's a right fielder trying to pick up his pitcher Ian Kennedy and laying out the pop-up slide, and watch the foot, the knee goes into the pad. Flash look.
And thank goodness for that padding, but sometimes there's a steel pole behind the padding that's supporting the other fencing. It seems to be okay. Back 3-2 the count. Lagares And another foul. Kennedy trying to get through this 6th inning. A run is scored, a 2-out double by Kadire and Flores single, and Lagares fouling off a lot of pitches. 10th pitch of this at bat coming up. Plawecki, the catcher, would be next. And another foul. Who's going to win this battle? And the ideal situation for the Padres is for Kennedy to end the inning.
Looks like a changeup right here.
Job well done. Again, the relief pitcher in the next inning. Ground ball to short. And Marista will go across the diamond for the out. And Kennedy has rebounded from an awful outing against Pittsburgh to pitch 6 innings of outstanding ball tonight. And it's time now for the Community Spotlight, brought to you by Mission Federal Credit Union. Mission Fed donated $5,000 to the Children's Museum earlier tonight, also provided tickets to tonight's game. Mission Fed donates around $1.5 million a year to local charities. Bravo. Jed Jerko pinch hits for Kennedy to open the 6th inning, then the top of the order, Venable and Norris. 11 hits for the Padres, 3 by Alonso as he returns from the DL. 2 Venable, 2 for Norris, 2 for Spangenberg. And Jerko off the bench with a line single to left field. Leadoff man on again for the Padres.
Well, you love the effort from Ian Kennedy tonight, and you love Jed Jerko pinch hitting for that man, Ian Kennedy. And Mark Sweeney analyze and look at this swing of Jed Jerko.
You know, you look at it, he had actually a little leg kick, and he's hitting on the move just a little bit, try to create that squared up to the baseball, and you can see using his hands much better in that situation. He's constantly working on stuff in the cage and also during batting practice. That translated right there.
Venable, a good night, a single and a triple, and a couple of runs knocked in, scored a run. His first 3 at bats against the starter Noah Syndergaard. So Kennedy, 6 innings, 2 runs earned, 6 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts.
That's a good night in the big leagues.
It is. And boy, is that welcome to that Padre rotation.
Yeah. Talking with Josh Johnson on the left.
And in case you weren't with us earlier, the word from San Antonio, Brandon Morrow getting his first rehab start. Went 4 innings of 2-hit shutout ball. So that's good news as well. 54 pitches for Morrow. Out of play.
Outfield really swung around to the left side. Leatherstitch pitching him that way as Norris waits on deck. See if he gets a breaking ball here.
He does, and is bobbled, but right there at the bag is Duda to get the out. But no double play. Might have been a double play chance. Jerko moves to second. And again, we're not making this up. It hadn't happened in Major League history till last night. A pitcher going less than 5 innings, striking out at least 10, and allowing 10 hits. It's hard to do. Well, Noah Syndergaard disregarded that and did it again tonight. Once the ice was broken, a repeat. And a pitching change. Terry Collins out and is going to go to the bullpen with right-handed Norris coming up. He's motioned for a right-hander. They come in with 1 out in the 6th. Comes to Fox and Fox Sports 1 for the first time. Greatest golfers in the world converge on the Pacific Northwest for a chance to stamp their names in the history books of golf. Our exclusive coverage of the 115th United States Open Championship live from Chambers Bay Golf Course begins June 18th on Fox Sports 1, Fox, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. The U.S. Open Championship, one of the 4 Grand Slam events. New pitcher is Hansel Robles. 1 out. Jerko at second base, and Derek Norris is the batter. Norris a home run and an infield hit in 3 at-bats.
Well, Robles goes from the first base side of that rubber, extreme first side. Fastball slider change, 94 to 100. Yes, you heard it right. He can get it up there to 100 miles an hour. You see the splits. More than a strikeout per innings pitched, but a high ERA. This being his 13th appearance.
Up high, 88 on that pitch. He's 24 from the Dominican Republic, Robles. Pitched at St. Lucie and Binghamton last year, so he's really rocketed up the minor league ranks to get to the big leagues. Over but low, 3-0.
Well, he's got a nice easy motion as well.
was your top velocity? I mean, consistently top.
93.
Ball 4, 4-pitch walk to Norris. So how do you explain that just in the last 5 years, all these young guys coming up throwing 97, 98, 90?
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think just kids are bigger, stronger.
Yeah, but you're a big, strong guy.
Yeah, but back in the day, you know what? I'm going on a limb. You know what it is? I think it's the food these days. I think it's the hormones in the foods.
Or the dieting.
Yeah, could be.
Instead of your 3 cheeseburgers before pitching, these guys are eating asparagus.
Exactly. Veggie burgers. Mark Sweeney, do you have an explanation? I mean, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but all these arms these days, like Dick mentioned.
I think it's the workout programs. All these guys are involved with so many different things. The club outlines a certain workout that they have to do. And listen, these guys understand they have to have fastball command and they have to throw hard to get to the big leagues. Unfortunately for me, I think, guys, that pitching aspect comes out of play. And you're seeing a lot of throwers rather than pitching. And you're going to see a difference with that.
Justin Upton wearing the collar and has struck out all 3 times tonight. First and second, 1 out. And a line drive caught by the shortstop Flores, just up in the webbing of the glove. Now that takes a base hit and a run away from the Padres. That was a bullet headed for left center. So 2 away to Matt Kemp.
Boy, nothing Justin can do right there. Pretty swing, squared it up, right on that pitch.
Good base running by Jerko, not to wander too far. Waited for that line drive, made sure it was through. Able to beat Murphy to the bag. So Kemp has grounded out and struck out twice. And he takes a 97-mile-an-hour strike. Well, tomorrow, an hour earlier game time. Instead of 7:10, it's a 6:10 start, getaway day. James Shields goes for a 7-0 start as a Padre against Dylan G. He's 2-2. We'll be talking with you at 5:30 on Padres Live, the pregame show with Mike and Mark. Well, we hope you've made your ticket plans for the finale of this short homestand. If you can't come out to Petco, join us here on Fox Sports San Diego. 1-1. Again at 97. Two on, 2 out. Padres leading 7-1. We're in the home half of the 6th. And 2-2. Mile-an-hour slider. Wow.
Yeah, that's some giddy up on the wrinkle, isn't it?
Strike 3 call. Kemp knew it. 3rd time he's struck out tonight. Well, the Padres lead 2 in the 6th. It remains 7-2.
7 runs in 3 2/3. We're going to talk about the four-seam fastball, which was effective tonight against the Mets. Look at the location. Outside corner, called third strike. Second pitch of his arsenal, the curveball, the spike curveball. And with 2 strikes, yeah, he's going to expand. Now the changeup. He stayed on top of it nicely. Good down and in action to the right-hand hitter. And high fives all the way around for Ian Kennedy. 6 solid innings. He struck out 8 Mets tonight. Nice job.
Dale Thayer comes in. Padres right-hander. 23rd appearance of the year. Solid ERA.
A 23rd game for Dale, and last time he was out there was on Saturday against the Pirates. Hopefully he can get those splits against righties down at 289.
Milwaukee, the catcher, leads off. John Mayberry is in the on-deck circle to pinch hit for the pitcher Robles. And then the top of the order, Granderson. Strikeout and a lineout for Milwaukee. Slicing into the right field corner into foul territory, and Kemp again has to go to the defensive slide as that ball took him right into the wall.
You know, the one thing about Matt Kemp, hasn't been swinging the bat like he had hoped, but I'll tell you what, he's given his all out in the outfield. He's made some nice plays. Going to his right, going to his left. And there comes a point in time when you have to break down and go into that slide. You don't want to go face first into that padding, into that wall.
Another foul, 1-2. Watch out. No. Just into the last row by the aisle behind the dugout, and Kemp maybe a little banged up here. He's not feeling too good right now. Most innings played by outfielders this year, and Kemp has not asked for time off. 1-2. Strike 3 called. 93 on the fastball. That's Thayer's speed limit, 93 when he's on his game.
A little bit of movement at the end, right on the ice. Look at that glove of Norris. He doesn't even move it. You've heard the old cliche, thread the needle. He did just that on that pitch.
John Mayberry is the pinch hitter.
How are you at thread needles, Dick? Pretty good? I get on the first time every time.
That's not a responsibility that I've really.
My mom taught me how to do it.
Yeah. Well, I know you iron your own clothes on the road.
I do.
Yeah, you're Mr. Mom, Mr. Everything. John Mayberry Jr. The first-round pick of the Rangers 10 years ago. Spent most of his big league time in Philadelphia, last year in Toronto. 2-0.
You probably saw his dad play, right?
Oh, I did. Big John, left-handed hitting first baseman, Kansas City.
Yeah.
Also with the Astros, Blue Jays, Yankees. 2-time All-Star, his dad. Mayberry, when he's with Philadelphia, a couple of games I can recall, did some damage to the Padres coming off the bench.
I do remember that. Well, he was a good fit for that ballpark, wasn't he, in Philadelphia?
He had a 15 home run year there, and a 14 swing and a miss. 2-2.
Tall and lean. As Alex Torres, former Padre, heats up in the Mets pen.
Wearing that protective ball cap. Two 2-2 to Mayberry. Ball's time. John Jr., now 31, is born in Kansas City when his dad was playing with the Royals. That's off his foot foul. A Stanford man, Mayberry. Earned his degree as well in political science.
That's great, isn't it?
It is. Not easy to do.
No, it's not. Especially being an athlete.
Probably had to go back to school after signing a pro contract. Swing and a miss. And Thayer has 2 quick strikeouts here in the 7th. Wow. It's been a strikeout haven, Petco Park, the last 2 nights.
Once again, the fastball away to Mayberry.
There were 16 Mets that struck out last night, and now 10 this evening.
And look at those numbers. The last 19 games for the Padres bullpen, 2.78 ERA. The strikeouts are up. The opponent's batting average is way down.
Granderson takes a strike on the inside edge. He struck out twice and lined to right. Padres lead the National League as a team in strikeouts, and they'll add to that tonight with 10.
And you can thank Corey Kluber for that Cleveland Indian total at 484. He's already got half of those.
Same spot, same result. The former Padre property, Kluber. So in the 2 games, the Mets have struck out 26 times. That's almost a full game in strikeouts in 2 games. And that was very close to being strike 3, and Thayer punching out the side. C.B. Buckner not quite good enough for him. Shift on for Granderson. Bounces that one off the photographer's well.
Chris Budden coming in hot.
Woo!
You okay?
Look at my heart rate. I don't have a glove down here. Use this.
Line drive, base hit to left field. So he goes against the shift with a line shot to left. First hit off there, and with 2 outs, that'll bring up Ruben Tejada.
Dale tried to backdoor the slider on that one, and Granderson stayed on it nicely, just poking it where it was pitched, as Frank Garces, the left-hander, talked with Willie Blair, heating up for the Padres.
Off speed had Tejada out in front. One ball, one strike. Another base hit through the hole on the left side. Tejada has his second hit. Watch out, here come the Mets. They're a swing away from making this a little too interesting for the Padres, as we remind you that tonight's game is presented in HD by Sony 4K.
Last couple of hits have been on sliders, breaking balls out of the hand of Dale Thayer.
Duda has flied out, walked, and lined to first. And with that left-handed power hitter coming up, Whitlock's going to go to a southpaw, Frank Garces.
Coverage continues after the game. Will Venable and Clint Barman stop by the studio on an all-new SD Live. That's tonight after Padres Live right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
So Garces comes in to pitch to the top home run hitter for the Mets. Duda has 9. He's flied out, walked, and lined out. Garces making his 17th showing of the season.
Frank Garces come to the ballpark today thinking I might just have to get one guy out, and this is that situation.
Starts him with a breaking ball for a strike. 3 men on the right side. The shift is on for Duda. Interestingly, he's hitting lefties better than right-handed pitching.
That's using the whole field there, not trying to pull everything.
Another breaking pitch in there. Off speed. So a couple of slow curveballs. 0-2. 2 on, 2 out. And the 0-2 pitch. Got him. 3 straight breaking balls. And Garces gets the job done. Another Met has struck out. Stretch half of the 7th at Petco with the home side leading 7-2. A-Rod at the plate, and Lloyd McClendon, the manager of Seattle, thought he went around. That's strike 3, but was not called strike 3. And look at McClendon. He goes wacky. He's going to get more than his money's worth. Hey, the Seahawks better check out. That would have been good from 20 yards. With the challenge system now, and it really has purified the game a lot. I miss the good old manager getting crazy. You know, where is Earl Weaver and Lou Piniella and Billy Martin? Well, Lloyd picked up the baton tonight. Yonder Alonso, talking about picking up where he left off. He was hitting .333 when he was injured. He hasn't played a big league game. They've missed 25, and he comes back and goes 3 for 3, 3 singles tonight. Facing Hansel Robles here in the bottom of the 7th, 7-2. Oh no, it's Torres is now in there. Alex Torres, who pitched for the Padres last year. Corey Manzoni was involved in the trade. Manzoni from the Mets to the Padres, and Torres going to the Big Apple.
Well, we know one of the things about Alex Torres that he could get heavy on the walks.
1-1. Yep.
You saw on that graphic there, Dick, 19 innings, 11 walks. His changeup is his second best pitch. Fastball, changeup, slider. But he does have the third lowest batting average against, so 162 among lefty relievers. It's a minimum of 19 innings.
But he can be frustrating with those walks, often walking the leadoff man when he was with the Padres. Ground ball right side. They finally get Alonso out.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Back to Torres. Last year with the Padres, appeared in 70 games. That's almost double his pitching performance in any other given season. He worked 54 innings and gave up 33 walks. That'll make a manager nervous.
Yeah.
Middlebrooks takes ball one. Will has a single and scored, struck out and popped up. Walks per 9 innings by a reliever. Torres in the top 5. Two and 0. Spangenberg, another left-handed bat to follow. Lays in the fastball at 91. Got a quick arm.
Yes, he does. And when he's out with the changeup, that's what makes the changeup so effective as well.
Foul tip into the glove of Milwaukee. The Mets scored first. They got a run in the first inning tonight. The Padres answered with 4 in the second, another in the third. 2 more on Derek Norris's 2-run homer in the 4th inning to lead 7-1. Mets got another run in the 6th. That's where we stand here in the bottom of the 7th. And the 2-2 pitch. Shortstop Flores across and gets Middlebrooks by a stride. A couple of ground outs from Torres. Brings up Spangenberg. Bunt single and scored. Tripled in a run in the 3rd. And walked his last time and stole a base. So on base all 3 times. A productive night for Spangenberg.
Oh, that's a good line there.
Pick the stick game, if someone had selected him, that's an 8-point game. Yeah. Spangenberg.
He went undrafted today, huh?
I don't think anyone picked him. Two and 0.
Got a chance to talk to Alex Torres before the game today. He's happy in New York as Joaquin Benoit heats up for the 8th inning. And he said, you know what? That's baseball. I can only control so many things. Getting traded to the Mets from the Padres. He loved it here in San Diego. Loved the coaching staff. Loved his teammates. But he settled in quite nicely in the New York Mets clubhouse.
2-1.
He's a good kid.
Normally it's in the tight games that Benoit works the 8th and Craig Kimbrell tries to close it out. But they haven't pitched since last Friday.
Yeah.
And 3-1. Spangenberg in the 3rd with Alonso at first base. Line that drive down the left field line, and Kadire, like so many left fielders, had trouble digging it out of the corner. Spangenberg just does beat the tag. Initially called out, but on the review ruled safe. And that was a big extra run for the Padres. 3 balls and a strike now. And a ground ball fair just over the bag. The long throw not in time. Spangenberg's legs get him another hit. On base all 4 times tonight. Sounded like he broke his bat, but he'll take a single.
Yep.
3 for 3 and a walk.
As soon as Tejada had to go 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, no chance getting Spansburg. No chance.
Look at those white shoes.
Love the white shoes.
Padres now with 13 hits on the night, 13 to 8 in the hit column. Amarista has a 2-run single, and he struck out twice. The Mets, after tomorrow night's game, will make the short flight to Phoenix and open a 4-game series against the D-backs on Thursday night. Padres get on a plane Thursday, off day, to go to Cincinnati for 3, and then Atlanta for 4. 22,264 enjoying the action here in Petco Park on this Tuesday night. Drive into the right field corner, and Spansburg with his speed might be able to score. He will be able to score. Is that ball finally being dug out by Granderson? No, it bounced up. It must have bounced up into the crowd, and that's going to be a ground rule double. Boy, that took a funny kick to go up into the jack deck. And that would have scored easily, Spansburg from first base. Yeah, it caught just enough to bounce off the wall and then caromed off the short wall into the jack deck.
That ball was smoked. Good swing by Alexi.
That's a good sign that his hitting stroke coming around. Abraham Almonte will bat for Garces. Runners at second and third. And a fly ball shallow and left. Kadire calling. And the high bounce on Amarista's ball calls the Padres a run.
Mark Sweeney and Mike Pomeranz with you, getting you set for Padres Live, the post-game show, which will be brought to you by Cox Communications. A lot of guys contributing to the win, or the winning ways so far. I don't want to jinx this. I know what you're thinking out there. But if it holds on, I think you got to tip your cap to Yonder Alonso back from the disabled list.
It was good to see Yonder Alonso tonight, especially from the left side. You need balance in your batting order, and Yonder Alonso brings that. 333 average coming in tonight. And you see him being very successful tonight. Simple approach for Yonder Alonso. He goes the other way. Obviously, that gives him confidence coming back. And what I loved about it tonight, the left-on-left single was very important right here. And then defensively, I think he adds a different element to this club that definitely is needed.
No question about it. They're talking about it in the pregame show that good first baseman can save a lot of runs, a lot of errors for the rest of your infield. Alonso looking very sharp in his return tonight. When we see you on the postgame show, we'll talk about everything that happened here on the field. Another nice outing. Good to see from Ian Kennedy and Ken Rosenthal, the Fox Sports MLB insider. His report on whether the Padres should be buyers or sellers at the break. Dick and Mark.
All right, a lot to discuss indeed, and I'm sure we'll see Joey Gallo's heroics as he broke in, highly touted Texas Ranger. Maybe McClendon might get an encore too with his tirade up in Seattle. Lots to stay around for, folks, on Padres Live, the postgame show. Daniel Murphy, a walk, a fly out, and a strikeout tonight. Joaquin Benoit to work the 8th inning. Murphy, Kadire, and Flores scheduled for the Mets. Benoit, 4 wins and 2 losses, a 2.57 ERA. Tough on the righties.
Yeah, 95 on the fastball, changeup, slider.
Ground ball punch to Middlebrooks. Good hands on the short hop and throws out Murphy. A reminder, tomorrow at 5:30, Fox Sports San Diego, the final game of the 3-game series. Dylan G back from the DL against James Shields. Shields looking for a 7-0 start as a Padre. Hope you'll join us as we move into the second third of the season. This game marking the 1/3 mark of the 2015 year for the Padres. Kadire 3 for 3. Middlebrooks trying to deny 4 for 4 and does with a fine play. That was headed for left field.
That's a big league play by Will Middlebrooks. To his left, hit plenty hard so he can have a little bit of a crow hop to fire a strike to Alonso.
So Middlebrooks takes care of both Murphy and Kadire. And that'll bring up Wilmer Flores, who singled in a run his last time. You know, just to reflect back on, we were talking about the nicknames, and I don't know why I just can't get it to go away. Keep thinking about Wilt the Stilt.
Oh yeah, Chamberlain.
The
Sure.
Stilt. What a great nickname.
Do you know who dubbed him with that, Dick, by any chance?
No, I don't. Line drive right at Venable. Read it perfectly. A 1-2-3 inning for Benoit. Padres will come up top of the order.
Understand how much you miss something until you're away from it for so long, and this has definitely got me motivated to get back, get in uniform, and go back out there and take the field, because it's especially with where we're at, with how exciting this team is. It's been fun to watch, but it's also sucked to watch, because you want to go out there and be a part of it.
Welcome back. David Wright in the clubhouse today, talking about the toughness of being away from his team while he deals with spinal stenosis. He updated the team about what the doctors are saying, and at 32 years old, they say he's too young right now to have surgery. He is hoping to be back at some point this year, but right now it's just on a week-by-week basis. But you could tell, talking with a lot of emotion today, misses being there with his teammates.
And he's the captain of the team and the leader of this Mets team. Sidelined in April, he was hitting .333 at the start of the year. We all wish him well. Carlos Torres, the angular right-hander, the other Torres. Alex Torres worked an inning, gave up a couple of hits but no runs. Venable, Norris, and Upton against Carlos Torres. 32. And a fly ball hit pretty well to left, but Kadire, lots of room out there for the first down. 2 for 5 for Venable, a 2-run triple and a single. Sean Kelly getting ready for the 9th inning. Derek Norris, a home run, an infield hit, a walk, and a strikeout. 2 for 3. His 5th home run of the season. 365 feet to left field.
Breaking ball down and in, and he turned on it.
91 on that fastball strike. On the corner. 7 runs, 14 hits for the Padres. 2 runs, 8 hits for the New Yorkers. Got him on 3 pitches. That was a wicked slider. Another strikeout. What a game of strikeouts. 13 Padres had punched out. Well, Justin Upton currently is 7th in the balloting for the All-Star outfield. And you can't argue with the first 3, but after that you could develop a pretty good debate that Justin Upton should be in the 4th spot.
Absolutely.
Pence is an all-star caliber but hadn't played. Angel Pagan, what's he doing there in the 5th spot? Tough night for Justin. 3 strikeouts, and then he hit the ball right on the nose the last time, but a leaping catch by the shortstop Flores. One and one.
Well, Carlos Torres has got a nice little streak going. Hasn't allowed a run in 6 1/3 innings. That was prior to today's game. And he throws a cutter. Curveball change. There's that cutter there. Such a good pitch if he could master that. 86-92 on that cut fastball.
He's from Aptos, California. Matriculated at San Jose State and then transferred to Kansas State. And was selected by the White Sox in the 15th round of the draft 11 years ago. Played in Japan with the Yomiuri Giants. Two and two. Padres have done some good hitting business tonight. Every inning they've had a base runner and a hit in every inning prior to this 8th. And that one punched foul, and he'll go back to the lumberyard, get a new stick. Well, let's go back and check on our keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers. How'd we do tonight?
Well, hitters. They had one thing in mind, one thought in mind. That was to hunt the fastball of Syndergaard. Norris hit the curveball, which was nice, but 7 runs, 14 hits, 10 off of Syndergaard, and then advanced in the dirt. 1 stolen base, that was Spangenberg. You know, looking back, Syndergaard did do well of keeping that breaking ball out of the dirt. He threw some good ones. And a nice two-handed grab by that gentleman right there. Nicely done.
Boy, he earned that souvenir. That is a good catch. Back with the 2-2. There's one in the dirt. No harm done. Full count now. To Upton with Kemp waiting on deck. Carlos Torres has been a very useful pitcher for the Mets. Bullpen, he'll make an occasional start as well. Started 10 games combined the last 2 years. Fly ball to center, a long run for Lagares, and he makes the catch. First time tonight, the Padres retired in order. On to the 9th. Yeah, tonight I had the manager wearing a big smile. 7 runs and 14 hits, plus the starting effort by Ian Kennedy. 6 solid innings and allowing only 2 runs and 6 hits. Sean Kelly picking up things here in the top of the 9th inning. Lagares, Plawecki, and the pitcher spot do. The Mets center fielder, a single, a strikeout, and a ground ball to short. Ground ball, 1 hop. Middlebrooks fires across for the out. Middlebrooks handling 3 of the last 4 outs. Plawecki, strikeout, line out, strikeout.
Well, Sean pitched an inning and a third yesterday. Struck out a couple Mets and zeros on the other parts of his line. So 5-run lead, a chance to be aggressive, and a nice clean inning to wrap this one up.
.92 fastball strike. Again tomorrow night, the matchup: James Shields for the Padres, 6-0. Dylan G for the Mets, 2-2. Fox Sports San Diego, Padres Live, the pregame show at 5:30. If you're coming out to the yard, not the usual 7 o'clock midweek starting time, but a 6:10. Breaking ball misses, 2-1. 2-2. Again on the fist there. Yeah, they've taken all the scores off the right field board, so we can't update you on the scores. But Padres with a chance to move up with a win tonight. The Dodgers lost one, and the Giants were losing. Get all that information on the postgame show. Swing and a miss, and another strikeout. First for Kelly as we visit our Bill Howe plays of the game. Ian Kennedy getting the start, striking out 8. Struck out the side in the 5th inning. On his way to hopefully the 3rd win of the season for Ian, and bouncing back from a rough outing against Pittsburgh earlier in this homestand. So 2 outs. Pitcher spot is going to be pinch hitter Daryl Siciliani. Is called up from the minors, and he lines to the second baseman Spangenberg, and that's how it ends tonight. Final score: the Padres 7, the Mets 2. Padres Live coming up with Mike Pomerantz.
Dick, thank you very much. Boy, that was nice to see. A 7-2 Padres win, so the series now even at 1 game apiece. When we come back, see you on a post-game show. Ian Kennedy with a change of fortune. Maybe being punny, but we'll show you the stats to back it in a moment.